Hello guys, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Marissa and I just completed the Disney College program for spring 2019. So I was there from January until May. And now I'm home. And I just wanted to make this kind of summary video of just what I thought of the whole thing in general, because I looked up these videos all the time because I had no idea what it was really like. Like, I saw videos, I saw vlogs, but I feel like nobody was telling the truth about what it was really like there. They just wanted to make it sound like amazing. But I'm gonna say good and bad things, everything you can think of, because you guys deserve the truth. And I just wanna make this be my last like Disney type video, and then I'll move on and see what else is in the future for me that I can make videos about. We'll see. So I was an attractions cast member. I worked at Spaceship Earth. If you didn't know that, maybe this is the first video you're watching somehow. If you found this before any of my vlogs, cool, welcome. I loved Spaceship Earth. It was crazy. How do I sum this up in like one video? It's so hard. I should have planned this beforehand, but I'm kind of just talking. Okay. I loved attractions. I think it was the perfect thing for me because you are busy the whole time, and the rotations in work make the day go by so fast. So you would be in all these different positions. So I had to learn like 10 or more different positions, like unloading and loading and fast pass and merging and I don't know, all these things, and operating the machine and knowing how to work the ride and evacuate the ride and run an intrusion and all these things that were so cool that I never ever thought I would do in my life, like operate a ride at Disney World. No, I never thought I would do that. You pull to an assignment on the computer and you'd get a position and you'd be there for like 40 minutes, and then the rotation would come out again and you'd move to the next one and the next one, and sometimes you'd get a break every 2 hours, and then sometimes you'd give other people breaks, so you were always moving to different places and doing different tasks. So it made the day go by so fast, because once you got through that task, it was the next like hour, so the day went by so fast, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I could have done it any longer than I did. I'm sure I would have, but it gets a little repetitive after a while, but you gotta make every day different on your own. So overall, role-wise, I loved attractions, and I wouldn't have done anything else, because I also got to do park clearing, which was like a secret spy mission, and I had such a fun time doing that too, because like we were in charge of getting everybody out of the park. It was so cool. We had our radios, and like, I love that. That was probably my favorite shifts, because we got to watch the fireworks and just like stand with the crowd and watch the fireworks and then clear the park. Like, oh, that was so fun. I like that more than Spaceship, I think, because you would work Spaceship for like 3 or 4 hours and then go straight to the fireworks and then go straight to park clear. So then you were really doing different things, and that was so fun. As for my work schedule, I basically just worked like 30 hours a week on average. Some weeks it was 40, some weeks it was 35, 37, and I think like when Tony visited and when my family visited, I was like 28 hours. So it is possible to have an easy work schedule. It was not bad at all. I was expecting 50 to 60 hour weeks like people said, and maybe they were just, that's for like the winter, like fall and fall advantage because of the holidays and everything. And maybe they're a little short-staffed based on the crowds that they get, but I cannot complain about my hours. I mean, my paychecks, since we got paid $10 an hour, my paychecks were like $150 to $200 on average. And that was already with rent being taken out, which was $125. But overall, job-wise, loved it. I really enjoyed the routine of it. I liked getting up, making my food, going to work, or doing something before. Obviously, it gets really tiring and you just want a day off sometimes, and you just want to call out sometimes, but it's just like any other job where you have to just push through, do what you gotta do, make your money, and still have fun while you're there, or before or after work too. Because maybe you'd have like a 12-hour shift one day and you're like, my entire day is gone from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock, you know? But it's not, because you're living in that day and you're making fun for everyone else, and you just have to remember, like, your day's not gone. You're at work and you're being yourself, you're being a person, and you're having a good day, right? I feel like whenever you get a shift like that, you're like, oh, I have to wake up, go to work, come home, go to sleep, and that's it. No, there's the in-between. You're gonna have fun at work. You can't just think of it as just work, because then you'll be like a zombie all day. You just have to try and go in with a good attitude, because it was very hard. Some days I was just like, I don't want to smile today. I've been here long enough. I'm good. I'm just gonna do my job and that's it. But you have to smile. That sounds so bad, but I'm just a person. You have bad days, but like, you can't let it show too much, because people, that could be their first day ever at Disney World, their first day ever on Spaceship Earth. So think of it like that. A big thing that I always wanted to find in a video that I never could was how people had their family and friends visit them and how they got that time off. Like, I wanted to find that in a video so bad, and nobody would tell me. And I was just like, is anyone gonna be able to visit me? Like, that was a big stress for me, especially because I needed to have those days off for when Tony came to visit me, because what was he gonna do if I had to work for 6 hours, like sit there by himself? That had to happen one day, but that was just one day. So let me lay it out for you guys. So you can trade your shifts as a CP. Also, you can give away your shifts. So some people think that CPs aren't allowed to do this, but you're allowed to do this as long as someone wasn't overtime once they took your shift. So if they went over 40 hours when they took your shift, the leader probably wouldn't approve it. So as long as the person was still gonna be under 40, then you can give away your shift to whoever is willing to take it. And people were so good about that. That's what really saved me with having people visit me, because people were so willing to take my shifts for me, which was really nice, because people are always willing to make money. And I was like, I'm willing to give up this day of money to spend time with whoever's visiting me. So that was great. And then of course you have the option to call out, but then you can't go to a park. You can't go to a Disney park. You can go to Disney Springs and not use your ID or like any discounts. So that was something you could do as well, which I did a few times. I did twice. So I called out and I went to Disney Springs and a spa one day with Tony, and then when my parents were here, I called out and I went to Disney Springs with them as well. And you just can't use your ID that day, and that's fine. But you don't want to call out and go to a park, because you will be fired. That is very bad. They know you're clearly not sick and not taking a personal day to relax. You can't do that to just go to the parks. So you also have approved days off. So those are called ADOs, and you get up to 5 if you're doing normal spring. So I think it goes by the amount of months, not really, because it was only 4 months that I was there, but I was allowed 5 days off to request, and I think you get 9 if you were doing Advantage. I'm not totally sure on that, but you do get a bunch. So the thing is, they fill up really quickly for your work location, so a lot of people will request the same days off. I remember like Easter weekend, there was wait lists for people to get that day approved. So sometimes you're gonna request it and you still will get scheduled to work on that day, but sometimes they give it to you. So if you leave for Disney with a list of days that you would like off, it is great to get that hub access as soon as you can and request those right away. Make sure you do that, because that also helped me have a few days off with people who visited me. So it's absolutely possible. I loved when people visited me. It really just like refreshed me, because I got to show them where I was working, and it made me kind of excited again about being there, even though I'm still excited. It takes a lot out of you sometimes. So just having someone visit and being able to show them everything you know now, and like, this is where you live, like, it was so cool. So definitely have people visit you if you can, because it makes it so much more special. Now I'm gonna tell you guys what some of my favorite things were on the program, and there were a lot of favorite things that I had. So obviously the number one thing is that this is a goal that I wanted to accomplish for a really long time. Like, I always had it in my head that I wanted to work in Disney World. I would go on vacations and be like, I would be really good at working here, I think I'm like a positive person and I would do well here. So now that I did it, and I can say for the rest of my life and like show people and like my future children, be like, hey, I worked here. Like, that is so cool. That's something that's really special to me. And that's my all-time favorite thing about doing the program, is saying forever that I worked at Disney World, and not a lot of people get to say that. The best thing about the program were the people you met. That is so cheesy, so cliche, everybody says it, but it's so true. Like, I don't have many friends at home, and coming from college, like, all my friends lived in other places. And so it was so nice to go to Disney and make so many friends and have them all right there with you all the time. So So I just had the best time. As you can see in my vlogs, like my friends were so amazing, and I loved being with those people. And I'm so sad to be far away from them now, especially the people who are still there, and I see them like struggling at Spaceship Earth. Also, one of my favorite moments of the whole thing was getting my costume for the first day of training and stepping out into Spaceship Earth like as a cast member. I felt so different. Like I just like stood up more, I don't know, I was just like so proud. I was just like stood out there and I was like, I work here, oh my god, I work here. It was so crazy. That's like one of the best feelings ever, and I wish I remembered that in my later days when I was getting really tired of it. But it was really cool. The first moment is so pure. We don't know anything yet, oh my god. And then as time went on, one of my favorite things was how confident I got there. And I love that because you start and you literally, like I just said, you don't know anything. And people would come up and ask me questions as I was training, like, oh, where's this? And like, how do you do this? And whatever. And I didn't really know. And I hate not knowing things and getting questions wrong. So by the end of the program, I could answer literally any question somebody had because they see you there and with your name tag on, and they're like, oh, this person must know every single thing about every park and Disney World in general. And you have to be prepared to know a lot of things, and you learn that by people asking the questions and getting them wrong or having to ask your fellow cast member. So I knew so many things, and that was really cool. And also when we had to evacuate the ride, people's faces when they saw you like coming up the stairs to come save them, that was so cool. I was like the hero for the day, and people would say that to me. And then obviously it was so amazing to just go to the parks for free. That is seriously the best part about it. I'm saying everything is the best part, but honestly, you are saving so much money by working at Disney because you're making a little bit of money, but you're getting to go to all the parks for free when one ticket costs like $130 something. Oh my god, that's so much for a person. So being able to do that and then getting the complimentary tickets for like your family and friends, that was so worth it because you realize like you were saving hundreds of dollars every day. Another thing that was so cool, and that only happened a handful of times, was getting recognized by people who would go to the parks and be like, Life with Riss, what's up? And I was like, what? Me? You know me from YouTube? So that was so cool when people were like, oh my god, I watch your videos. In a split second of seeing me, like if I was loading them onto the ride or getting them off the ride, it was just cool to be recognized. That's never ever happened to me before because like I've never done anything to be recognized for. So like, made me feel pretty special, especially if like my friends were working next to me and they're like, what? People recognize you? What? Cool. Another one of my all-time favorite things was having a day off. So if I had like an 8-day streak or a 9-day streak and then I had a day off to do anything, it was so nice because I would use those days to like work out or just cook a really nice meal or just spend an entire day at a park. Now we're gonna go to my least favorite things. It was really a struggle to like feed myself every day. To like wake up, have to make myself breakfast and then get some coffee and then meal prep my lunches and dinners because I barely ever had dinner in my apartment where I got to like take my time and cook it. I had to always eat something in 15 minutes and microwave it at work, and it just wouldn't taste as good. So I really didn't like not eating dinner in like at home where I could take my time. So, but that was life. I got used to it very quickly. I started to enjoy meal prepping, so it wasn't the end of the world. I also lived in an apartment there were 6 girls in there and we had 1 fridge. That was horrible because we would forget that we had food there and it would rot in the back of the fridge and we had to find it and throw it out. We had these like panic sessions where we would just clean out the whole fridge and everyone was like yelling at each other. It was funny, but it was gross. We should not have had to share 1 fridge. That was so stupid. So I didn't like that. It's hard to live with 6 people because like you'll spend like your whole day cleaning something and you'll come home later from work and it'll be like a mess again. But it's inevitable because everyone cleans on their own schedule. Everyone has different habits. So that was also just like hard, but my roommates were all great, and you just have to find roommates that have very similar habits to you. It is so important to have more similar habits with people than to be their best friends. It was hard to live with 5 other people in one place with a rent that was still $125 a person, but whatever, it's fine. That brings me to my next thing that I did not like, was getting only $10 an hour. Like I get $20 an hour from this job that I have right now with my boss, who is like a family friend, and then I got like 15 when I worked in Times Square at National Geographic. And going from those to $10 an hour with rent and groceries and like park stuff if I felt like buying things, it was just so hard. It was crazy. Whatever, it was an internship. It wasn't really a part-time or full-time job, even though it was more than a full-time job, basically. It was like an extra time job. Not even full, like more than full. But it's fine. I made it through. I made what I made. And I could have extended my shifts, like that's on me. I could have made more if I really wanted to, but I needed to like breathe for a second. Now, let's see. Did I have any regrets? Honestly, no. I did so much more than I ever thought I would have had time for. Like, I'm just so happy that I got to vlog everything as much as I did. Like, I put out a bunch of videos. I had like 50 videos almost. And that is more than I ever thought I would put out. And that is really great because I'll always be able to look back on that. And I got to go to the parks all the time. I definitely made the most of that time. Before work, after work, on my days off. I got to go to the beach, as I said. But the one regret I have is not going to Universal. So I knew I wasn't going to get a seasonal pass because I definitely wasn't going to go that many times. But then going just one day for Universal, the prices were really expensive. Even as like a Florida resident, we got a discount, but I never could find people who were gonna pay and go with me. And it was just like, I still never got to see Harry Potter World, so that kind of stinks, but I'll go back to Universal one day. It's just focused on Disney. It's okay, that's okay. I did like every video I wanted to do. I met so many people. I went out in downtown Orlando even. That was so fun. I didn't pick up any pack shifts at Magic Kingdom, like the fireworks shifts, but honestly, I don't regret that because that seems like a miserable job. Because people for Happily Ever After are insane. They will not listen to you no matter what. If you tell them they have to keep walking, they will stand right there in front of you. So I'm actually happy that I didn't have to deal with that because I felt really bad for those people whenever I was watching it. That's basically it. If you guys have more questions, let me know if you want me to do like a Q&A of some kind because that's about all I can think of right now for talking points. So I hope this gave you an insight of what it's really like. And please let me know down below if you have any more questions that I can answer for you, and I will maybe do a separate video or I'll just answer you in the comments. Here I am again, just trying to figure out the rest of my life. Woohoo! Still no updates in that front, but hopefully soon. Okay guys, see you soon. Bye!